Well, welcome back. We are moving into week 5. That is super exciting. You are over the hump for sure. It's kind of all downhill from here. It's going to be coasting into the finish with power, with grace, with ease. And this is really where, now in these last few weeks, this is where the yoga can start to really work on you. If you've been working it, it starts to give back exponentially, right? At first, it feels like you're giving to yoga a lot, right? And then later, yoga starts to give back to you, right? And it starts to feel like, oh, this is adding to my life, not taking away from, right? It's giving me skills, it's giving me time, it's giving me insights, giving me power. Versus I have to, figure out how I'm gonna, go and get my yoga in. It starts to become integrates into your life. Really, that's how it's worked for us anyway. Okay, so we just finished the week of restoration, and maybe not the most restful week for a lot of us because there was just a lot of, in Texas, at least for those of you who aren't here, we had a big winter storm. A lot of us lost power. A lot of us lost water. A lot of us lost water and power, sometimes for extended amounts of time. So there's just a lot going on, right? We want to acknowledge that that was part of the unexpected part of your process. And that's actually probably a really great week to have restoration because, the idea was find rest where you can. And, you couldn't leave your house for the most part, right? And so the question then becomes like, in the midst of, that's always the question, but it just becomes more amplified when we have a crisis. In the midst of all that's going on, can I find space to give back to myself, to rest, to recharge, to renew? And that's a forever question. That's part of the cycle. You can't only give, right? You can't only give energy out. The law of reciprocity is that energy needs to come back to you so that you can be recharged and give back again, right? It's like a battery. You drain down and then you plug in and you recharge. So we have a couple of questions around that, but let's start really quickly with just a quick recalibration before I give you questions to answer, and then we'll do breakout rooms. So this is actually kind of a short, very short centering meditation. We call it a recalibration because it's a mini meditation. So if you can, sit up really tall. You can sit anywhere you want. If you're laying down, that's fine too. If you're in your car, don't close your eyes, but if you're not in your car and it feels good, you could close your eyes. It feels natural to do that. And then exhale all the breath out, like you just rinsed everything out. Even in an exhale, there's a chance to renew. Take a new breath in. Fill up, feel how it nourishes you. And then you can just sigh it out. And then take a big, delicious breath in. Feel it. And a soft, easy breath out. Now, as you're breathing in and out, bring your attention to your right foot, right shin, right knee, just the right side of your body on the right thigh. Feel your right hip, your right side sitting bone, the right side of your sacrum, the right side of your low belly. Just bringing awareness to the right side of your low ribs, right side of your mid ribs, mid back. Bring awareness to the right side of your collarbone, right shoulder, funneling awareness down to your right upper arm, lower arm, right hand. Bring awareness to the right side of your throat. Bring awareness to the right side of your jaw, your tongue. From the right side, top of your mouth. over to the right. Feel your right ear. Bring awareness to your right nostril, right eye and eye socket, the right side crown of your head, back of your skull. Breathe deeply and feel for the right side of your brain, the right hemisphere of your brain. When you're paying attention, notice if it feels more lit up, electrified. Your right side body humming with the energy, the dance of awareness. Feel that. Notice how maybe the other side feels a little more asleep. And breathe the right side open, awake, alert. Now take a big breath in, feel your right side body. And like a wave, take an exhale and let it wash across the center line of your spine to your left side body so that the awareness now shifts over to the left like a wave. And let it stay there. Feel for your left foot, left toes, your left ankle. Feel your left shin and calf, your left knee, thigh, hamstring. Breathe and feel your left side pelvis, low back, sitting bone. Breathe and feel your left side low belly, upper core, left side low back, kidneys. Feel your left ribs and left lungs. Wake up with your attention, with your breath. Your heart is, for most of us, is on the left side. Feel your left shoulder and the awareness trickle down into your elbows, into your forearms, and into your hand, left side hand. And then breathe awareness into your left side throat, the left side of your tongue, the teeth on the left side of your mouth, your left jaw. Feel your left ear and inner ear. Feel your left nostril, left eye, left eyelashes, the left side of your skull, the left side of your brain. Feel your whole left side body alive. Take a deep breath in and let it wash over to the right on the exhale. Moving the awareness all to the right, from the center line of your spine to the right, completely lit with your awareness. And take another breath in and let it wash over to the left, so that now the left side is lit. Take one more breath in, and from the left side of your spine, exhale and let it wash through your whole body so that both right and left are awake, joined, united, right along the center line of your spine. And feel this channel of light from the tip of your tailbone through the crown of your head. Breathe into this space that feels centered, feels grounded, awake, anchored into this moment. Now inhale and stretch your arms way up to the sky. Reach up like you could touch the sky. Exhale, bring your hands at heart center, palms together, soft bow of your head. And slowly lower your hands, blink open your eyes when you're ready. Hopefully that at least got you some awareness of your center line, and how you have sort of some access to controlling where your awareness goes, where your energy flows. Okay, so now I'm going to ask you just 2 questions to kind of touch back into reflecting on last week. First question is, 1, what did you learn about your relationship to rest? What did you learn this last week about your relationship to rest? And then the second part is, if you had issues with the storm, were any of the tools or insights from the program helpful in those moments? And maybe you didn't have a storm where you are, but whatever the storm of your life brought to you, were any of the tools so far, and what were those? So that's the second part of the question. So we're going to give you a couple minutes to answer those. So you could just go ahead and start writing on your paper or on your phone. Just answer those questions. Breathe deeply so you get access to it. You got about 2 minutes. Okay, so hopefully you had a chance to connect, and welcome back. Is anybody, we have time probably for one relatively short share. So if you haven't shared before and you're interested in sharing now, you could just unmute yourself and start talking. Anybody want to share what sort of came up in your discussion or this last week?
I'll share.
Okay.
Hey, so something I noticed that we got through 3 of the 4 of us in the breakout room, but something that we all said is that we find it hard to rest, that we kind of feel guilty resting. Like if we're resting, then we need to be reading, or the laundry needs to be going, or the dishes need to be done, or, you know, so the meditation is really where that rest comes in for us achievers and busybodies like myself. So so that was kind of a theme, and for me too. And then I feel like with the storm, the equanimity helped me, because I just was like, all right, I know that there's going to be good because we're going through this bad. Like at some point it's going to balance out. I'm freezing right now. I'm going to be warm soon. It might be, 100 degrees in Texas here this summer. So that worked for me. And then something else that struck me, Lala said that she felt bad that she couldn't help more people because she had power and she had stuff, but she couldn't drive to, the places to get people help and food and things. But so those were kind of our takeaways.
Yeah, thank you, Amy. I appreciate you speaking up. I do want to talk a little bit about the rest part, because I can identify, we can all, I think a lot of us can identify with that. If you identify with like, I feel guilty resting, or I have a hard time resting, raise your hand. Yeah, I mean, it's very common, especially Americans. We tend to not even take our 2 weeks of vacation. It's very common in places that I've worked where people get to the end of the year and they didn't take any of their vacation, whereas, in other cultures, they take their vacation and they don't feel guilty about it. So it's really kind of it's an inner shift that is required, and part of that is that, well, I know for Albina, it might be different than me, but, part of it is like, I have to make space to receive and to let, from lack of a better word, the forces of the universe come in and help me, right? Because if I'm trying to do everything, then I don't even make space for like grace or help, or right, like, we kind of feel like we want to do it ourselves.
Well, let me give a more concrete example. When we ran whatever 10, 12 businesses, we worked all the time. And Roger would make me go on vacation, literally. But however, on those vacations, when I had a chance to rest and restore myself, that's when all these amazing ideas came to me that helped us move our business to the next level. I didn't have access to that creativity, that innovation in the place of constantly working. So from my experience, when I allow space for restoration and rest, that's actually when I get to, you can call it your own creativity. I call it divine guidance, like you said.
Yeah. And then the other piece, is that, when we don't rest, we actually aren't giving our best, right? Like in a way, we're giving a sort of a run down version of ourselves to even to ourselves. Does that make sense? Like we're not even like with our kids, right? They're getting our kind of frazzled, side. They're getting, our coworkers might be getting our frazzled, and so we're leaking energy everywhere. And so the restoration is just acknowledging like I too need to receive. I too deserve to be, to give to myself, to receive, to take the time. The Italians say it best, right? Il dolce far niente, the sweetness of doing nothing. There's a true sweetness in not doing, right? And yoga, ultimately, there is a doing, but first is the cultivation of being. Mm-hmm. And from the beingness, right? From the like, I'm going to treat myself kindly. I'm going to receive. I'm going to allow. Then we can start to think, okay, this is the right action, right? But if we're frazzled and we're busy, like we might miss the right action because we're just in action. You know what I mean? So there's an efficient way to do things and maybe like a more creative way to do things, or there's just doing things. And at some point, working harder is not better, right? It's just adding on and it's causing more stress. Whereas maybe if you stepped back, you could go, you know what? That doesn't even have to be addressed right now. And maybe there's a better way to approach this. So in a way, you're kind of doing a dance where you're allowing the reciprocity to come back. It cannot be a one-way street. That's something that we've learned, It's the law of the universe, law of reciprocity, giving and receiving in equal measure. In equal measure. And I'd say, most of you are probably giving more than you're receiving. Even if, like Lala said, she felt guilty, right? Like, well, I agree with that. And it's okay in the sense that like, you can only do what you can do, right? Some people have time and they have no money to give, but they can go and like do things, right? And some people have a lot of money, but they have no time, so they can give money, right? But like, you can't give, you can give in the way that you can give, mm-hmm. which could be as easy as like calling somebody, mm-hmm. right? And saying, how are you doing? And that's a big giving. But then also like, oh, and I can't save everybody, I can't save everybody, but I can start with taking a deep breath. I can start with like recharging my battery so that I feel good about giving, right? I don't feel like that kind of giving that feels like almost resentful. Have you ever had that? Like, God, I'm so tired, but these people need stuff and I just got to do it, right? Okay, well, that actually brings me into the centering part, which I think is related. They're laid out in a very particular order on purpose. And, centering, if you read the book, centering and presence actually kind of are a lot alike. The difference that I would say is centering for me personally is feeling like I have a home inside myself, like a home base that's calm, that's grounded, and that's wise. Now, I'm not always living in that home, right? Sometimes I'm out visiting the freak out or the whatever, right? But I have access to it at all times. And so it becomes a choice. Yoga and meditation help us sort of build that inner home that we can draw back to. And you can draw back to it while you're in action. In other words, I think we all have acted from a place of being out of balance and ungrounded, right? And then that's when we say stuff that we regret, right? And that's when we do things that are, wow, that was really foolish, right? Or, man, I really messed that up, because we didn't pause often, right? And to consider like, okay, how do I want to show up? Where do I want to come from? So centering is sort of building up this inner resource of a space, I'd say a home inside yourself, where it's calm, it's grounded, and then you act from that. Right. And we've also all been in spaces where we're acting from that calm and grounded space. Is that true? Yeah. And so you do have access to it. Now, the work is to cultivate it. And that is what yoga and meditation are largely about. Mm-hmm. One of our teachers, his name's Robert Bustani. He's this really great teacher. He's part of our 300-hour teacher training. He used to say that a yogi is 50% in the world and 50% back here. 50% out among everybody, doing the things, enjoying, getting involved. And the other 50% is back here, kind of held back for you. And I didn't get that. I was like, how does he even come up with that percentage? Well, the percentage comes from the law of reciprocity, really. The more that I've learned, it's like 50% I keep, I'm observing, I'm staying in this place, but the other 50% I'm out running around and doing the dance. But I'm also in touch with this calm inner part of me. You can be having a conversation and be aware of your own internal space and how things are landing on you and how you're, engaging with it, responding versus reacting, right? You can be in that dance, and it's a cultivated sense. And to me, that's really what this next week is all about. Mm-hmm. So Albina's going to lead us through a process that helps us get in touch with that home inside of ourselves.
And the process is called tapping or emotional freedom technique. So yes, exactly, Amy. So emotional freedom technique, if you've never heard of it, is tapping. Literally, you're tapping different parts of your body. And the tapping, it's not just random. You tap the major meridians in your body, the energy lines in your body. And I would call it's a combination of acupressure and modern day psychology. In terms of yoga, or in the language of yoga, you've heard this said before, that it is important for your emotions to move, right? Your emotions are meant to be in motion. It's whenever we bottle something up that is not good. It's not good for your health. It's not good for your well-being. It's not good for your spirit or anything like that. What tapping does is it allows you to feel all the emotions, to acknowledge the emotions, and then quickly let the emotions pass. Okay, so the tapping will take place, at the hand here first, left or right, it doesn't matter. You can do tapping with both hands or one hand. So the points are at the eyebrow, at the sides of the eye, under the nose, under the mouth, at the collarbones here, right underneath the collarbones, right here by under the arm on the side ribs, and then at the crown of the head. And today we'll do tapping meditation specifically to address, this is what I tend to struggle with whenever I am off-centered and not grounded, which is stress, overwhelm, anxiety, and worry. Can you guys relate to that? So whenever I go to that place, instead of being at my emotional home, like Roger said, I tend to go to a place where I become my most unresourceful state. And the modern day psychology and neuroscience already proved that whenever we are in the stress of worry, anxiety, overwhelm, we really don't have access to our best self, creative self. We don't have access. We can't even see the possibilities because we're so focused on that thing that causes worry, anxiety, fear, overwhelm. So let's go ahead and start. Sit up tall, and you can close your eyes if you want.
unless you're driving.
unless you're driving, and take a deep breath in and a big breath out. And right now, as you breathe deeply, think of one thing that brings anxiety or overwhelm or stress or worry into your life. And trust that the first thing that pops into your head, that's your intuition guiding you. So acknowledge that stress, acknowledge that worry, and internally rate that feeling, that emotion on a scale from 0 to 10. 10 meaning lots of worry, lots of overwhelm, lots of anxiety, and 0, none. And take a deep breath. So the first number that pops into your head, trust that it is your inner guidance, inner knowing, and just note that number. And we'll start by tapping the side of the hand right here. And it's not hard tapping, just gentle tapping. And you can close your eyes if you want, and you can repeat after me out loud or internally. Even though I feel all this overwhelm and anxiety, I completely love and accept myself. Even though I feel all this worry, I give myself a chance. I allow myself to relax and feel all my emotions. And then one more time, even though I feel worry, anxiety, overwhelm, I completely love and accept myself. And now we start simply by acknowledging whatever it is that we're feeling and tapping at the same time. So tapping at the eyebrow, say with me, all this overwhelm. At the sides of your eyes, all this anxiety. Under your eye, all these worries. Tap under your nose. It just feels like tightness in my body. Tap under your mouth. Sometimes it's so tight that it's hard to breathe. Tap under your collarbones. Worry alone causes so much stress, so much tightness in my body.
Worry alone causes so much stress in my body.
And breathe deeply as you're tapping. Tap under your arm. When I'm stressed out and overwhelmed, I am not grounded. I'm not centered.
When I'm stressed and overwhelmed, I'm not grounded or centered.
Tap at the crown of your head. And in that state, I don't have access to creativity, divine guidance, resourcefulness.
In that state, I don't have access to creativity, divine guidance, resourcefulness.
Tap at the eyebrows. Take a deep breath in and give yourself a permission right now to feel whatever it is that you're feeling. Tap at the sides of your eyes and ask yourself, what is this overwhelm? What is this anxiety all about? Tap under your eyes and give yourself a permission to feel all the emotions. Breathe deeply. Tap under your nose. What is the most stressful thought? Breathe deeply as you're tapping. Tap under your mouth. As you allow yourself to feel this overwhelm and worry, Take a deep breath right now and feel, where does it live in your body? Listening to your intuition, inner guidance. Feel it in your body. Tap into your collarbones. And I breathe into that part of your body where your worry, your stress, your overwhelm, your anxiety, where it lives. Breathe into that part of your body. Tap into your arm. And as you breathe into that part of your body, feel for relaxing that part of your body. Just let go. Feel that part of your body soften and open up. Tap at the crown of your head. And right now, make a new choice to let go, relax, and connect to the best part of you, the wisest part of you. Tap at the eyebrow. Breathe deeply. Because when you let go, you can call it surrender. When you surrender your worries, when you let go of your overwhelm and your anxiety, tap at the sides of your eyes. You invite, or rather you lean on the force so much bigger than you. Tap under your eye. You can call it the universe. You can call it God. You can call it the divine. Tap under your nose. And as you breathe deeply and you feel your physical body soften, make a new choice right now to invite that guidance. Tap under your mouth. Allow yourself to be led. Tap under your collarbones and breathe deeply and feel yourself stepping into a new kind of vibration, energetic vibration. I call it effortless ease. So breathe deeply and feel the effortless ease of your breath. Tap under your arm. Breathe deeply into that part of you where you tend to hold on to stress and overwhelm. And when you relax that part of your body, feel effortless ease come into your experience. Tap at the crown of your head. Breathe deeply and feel how when you let go, when you surrender, you get to ground down and you become centered. Feel that right now. Breathe deeply. Tap at the eyebrows. When you're centered, when you're grounded, when you feel that effortless ease, that's when you're being guided. Tap at the sides of your eyes. That's when you expand your focus. That's when you tap into your creativity, your resourcefulness. Tap under your eyes and breathe deeply. Feel yourself shifting into that new way of being, new vibration, new energy. Breathe deeply and feel your body soften, relax, open. Tap under your nose. Feel yourself being guided, being led. Tap under your mouth. Breathe into your brain and feel your brain literally open up to see a new possibility, a new solution, a new perspective on things. Tap under your collarbones. In this place, when you're grounded, you're centered, you're connected with your own innate wisdom, inner knowing, divine guidance. Tap into your arm. That's how you shape your destiny. In this place, you get access to all of your power, all of your innate gifts and talents. Tap at the crown of your head, breathe deeply and feel. Feel for that. And I gently stop tapping, take a big breath in, savor, enjoy your breath, and big exhale. And now go back to that thing that caused you lots of stress and overwhelm. And now rate that level of stress on a scale from 0 to 10. And if your number went down, give me some jazz hands so I can see. So know that any reduction in that number is a good thing. And tapping or EFT is the most powerful and the quickest way I know how to shift from that, what I call unresourceful state, the place of a state of fear, overwhelm, anxiety, worries, to a really resourceful state where you get access to that divine guidance, inner knowing, confidence, innovation, creativity.
Thank you. So Albina has those. If you want to do that again sometime, if you want access to that on her website, you're more than welcome to jump on there, albinarippy.com. She has a bunch of meditations on there, and maybe on your YouTube too.
On YouTube, there are tapping meditations to manifesting magic, on forgiveness, on stepping into abundance and things like that.
The practice is called EFT, emotional freedom technique.
That's right.
So moving into now what's coming up this week, if you remember, the checklist is yoga every day if you can, right? And meditation now moving up to 25 minutes, so they're getting a little longer. Also a reminder that meditation is everything that happens, right, once you sit for meditation. And meditation doesn't have to be sitting. It could be walking. It's the way that you walk, right? It's with a presence and awareness of tapping into your senses. So play with that. What else makes me feel meditative? Dancing,
washing dishes,
swimming, right? Washing dishes.
Folding laundry can be a meditation.
That's right. So all of these things can be meditation, with the idea that you're moving into it for meditation, to get really present to what's happening now. That's really meditation. And make it fun. Make it fun and relaxing. Make it restorative, right? For you. And that'll be different than for me. The reading, week 5. And then also, we will have one more meeting next week at the same bat time, same bat channel. So we're going to see you again in a week. Thank you for sticking with us. Please stick with us for another week. We're almost there. And then the last bit is, we have mentioned it before, we want to invite you, if you want to go deeper, to our teacher training that we're doing through Pure Yoga. And Jeff and Marty will be sending out info on that, I think. But you can also look on their website. I think it's already up. 200-hour yoga teacher training. And if you have any questions, we have about 6 more minutes. So if there's any questions or comments or anything you want to share now, we'll hang out with you. Otherwise, if you don't have any questions or comments, we'll see you next week. Have a wonderful week, but we'll hang out here for the next 5 or 6 minutes. Oh, I see a hand. Uchenna, Are you waving by or you got a question? You have to unmute yourself.
He's just saying bye.
Okay. Good to see you.
Good to see you. I was just saying goodbye and thank you so much. This has been quite an enjoyable journey. So thank you.
Awesome.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Marty, you have a question? I guess you just start talking if you did, or you're probably saying bye.
Matthew.
Matthew, you have a question?
Yeah, I was enjoying the warming, the cooling and heating effects of foods that's in the book. Do you have any thoughts on that? Because I don't know, Austin, you could talk about Austin and hot foods.
Yeah,
it's been cold, but it's
right?
going to get hot again, and we eat hot, spicy things. But I really thought it was a great guidance for selecting food.
Yeah.
For food selection based on your current state.
Yes, and so if you want to go deep into that kind of way of being, Ayurveda, it's the sister science to yoga. The idea is that you have three doshas, three sort of primary ways of
Constitution.
Your constitution, but your constitution is changing all the time, right? Like we're changing constantly. So it's not like you just have one dosha. And the doshas tend to be related to the elements. So for example, one is air, and that those people tend to be kind of light and feathery, right? And one is earth. Those people tend to be more grounded, calmer, right? And then one is fire. Those are kind of the spicy people. And what you'll find is you have a tendency toward one or maybe two, right? You tend to be more of one than the other. And what you'll tend to want is the things that line up with how you are all the time, right? So like if I'm fiery, I'm going to want to eat spicy foods and be in a hot room. This is her, basically. She likes spicy foods in a hot room. And I don't like hot rooms, right, so much, because I'm already like kind of like you kind of need balance. So like if you're more earthy, you might need a hot room, right?
Let me just give you an example.
Yeah.
So there was a period of my time when I did a bunch of hot yoga and I ate very, very, very spicy food. I just like put that hot sauce all over everything. But I also noticed that I was very reactive. And I'm also, my heritage is I'm from Kazakhstan. We always laugh. I'm like, I'm the great granddaughter of Genghis Khan. I'll freaking chop your head off. So do you see how too much fire, right? Too much fire. And I was becoming very reactive. I'm gonna blow up on people. So in that case, my Ayurvedic doctor suggested that I eat more grounding foods, so that I can calm down, not be so volatile or so reactive. So
root vegetables, things like
right.
that. Yeah.
So that's what, if you become very aware or more aware about how your body responds and how your way of being responds to your lifestyle, then you can make better choices. You can call it cooling foods or warming foods. That's another way of looking at it as well.
Yeah, and there are Ayurvedic doctors in Austin. I'm sure there's plenty, and you can read about it. It's really meant to go hand in hand with yoga. It's another
sister.
I've heard that food is the very first yoga, right? It's like it's the most primary because it's what you're putting into your body all the time. And so to be mindful around that is yoga itself, right? It's the very first one. And then sort of everything, according to Ayurveda, kind of stems from that, right? If I eat hot, spicy food, I'm going to get more fire. I'm going to be more alert and, active. And if I eat more grounding foods, I'm going to calm down, right? I'm going to settle down.
And you can also expand it to the seasons, right? There is a reason why in the winter you want to eat stews, you want to eat the foods that are comfort foods, right? And in the summertime, you naturally want to eat fruits and vegetables. You're not as hungry. So there is also that element to that as well. And I do believe that the more you practice yoga, the more you cultivate that self-awareness and making like conscious choices, the more you become in balance or in harmony with those natural rhythms. I call it bigger rhythm, right? The universal rhythm, spanda. Yeah. Does that help, Matthew?
It does, yeah. I'm going to be more aware of what state I'm in and see if foods balance that state.
Yeah.
You know, Albina does a really simple thing. Before she eats, she like just kind of asks, like, okay, you know, kind of tunes in and just says, what is my spirit craving right now? It seems kind of wacky, but she does that before like we eat versus, you know, kind of go through that dance like, oh, I don't want that, I don't want that, I don't want that. It's more like, what is it that I actually really want right now? You know, it might not even be food. It might be like, I just need, you know, somebody to listen to me, you know,
Yeah.
or something like that, you know?
You're giving away all my secrets.
Yeah. Thanks, Matthew.
Yes.
Well, it's 3:00 and we could do this all day, and we all have other things to attend to, I suspect. So thank you so much for joining us. Jeff and Marty, thank you again, as always. We love you all.
Thank you.
Namaste.
Namaste.
Everybody.
Namaste.
Namaste. Thanks, y'all.
All right.
Bye-bye.
Namaste, y'all.